Working together has never been more fun.
And experience is always hands-on.
Here I am, geared up to carve my own path.
Prepared to follow my passion.
It is here that my skills will be nurtured and my outlook refined.
It is here that my confidence will be fostered.
And aspirations defined.
I will travel the route less taken, tackle challenges with poise.
I will be the source of inspiration, imparting happiness and knowledge.
I will learn to fly high and pursue my goals.
Today, I have the privilege to lead.
And the optimism to succeed.
For I am where I want to be.
Ignited by the passion to educate.
Empowered to overcome limitations. And competent to fulfill my responsibilities. Be it little or big.
I know every step counts.
And I have the drive and determination
to transform 1 million lives. It's now time for me to forego fear
and face the future. Tell the world
that I'm ready to give the best I have. I'm born to rise.
Good morning, everyone. We request all the participants to please rename yourselves. For us, it is better to identify. We will soon begin with the discussion.
Hello, Dr. Bhaskar is here. I just wanted to check.
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning and a very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for joining.
So we'll begin in a minute.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are happy and healthy. A very warm welcome to the 15th edition of Saajhi Samajh. I am Dr. Shraddha Tendulkar, Associate Dean at Tech Mahindra Smart Academy for Healthcare, and I'm delighted to be your host for today. Saajhi Samajh, as many of us know, means shared understanding. This platform was created to spark conversations that matter, influencing thinking, inspiring action, and helping strengthen the development sector of India. In this edition of Saajhi Samajh, we will put a spotlight on healing the healers and focus on mental and emotional well-being of the healthcare workers, highlighting the need of systemic efforts to prioritize their mental and well-being. As a part of Tech Mahindra Foundation's work on building resilience among India's allied healthcare workforce, May Be Hero, a nationwide movement, trains youth of allied healthcare roles, which was launched during COVID and scaled through smart academies. It equips learners with relevant skills to help bridge India's critical shortage of skilled healthcare work support. Now, these new heroes too need support. because even those who care for others need to care for themselves. Let me start with a small, true to life story. A young emergency medical technician once shared with me, I can lift patients, I can work for 14-hour shift, I can remain calm during trauma calls, but I don't know how to express or how to carry the weight of everything what I see and feel. Here, she wasn't talking about the physical exhaustion. She was talking about the unseen burden, emotional fatigue, stress, trauma, and fear that something almost every healthcare worker experiences, but we rarely speak about. Her words capture the reality of thousands of healers who heal others every day while silently struggle themselves. And that is why this conversation for today is so important. So before we begin, a quick reminders to ensure a smooth experience. Your mic and video are off by default. To ask questions, click blue chat button on the top left and direct your questions to Q&A. For the best view, select speaker view and choose non-video participants. To enable captions, click CC transcript, show subtitles. We also welcome our sign language interpreters, Disha and Nishant from Noida Deaf Society. We also welcome our sign language. You can click them to the three dots on the video pin. With that, I am pleased to invite our CEO of Tech Mahindra Foundation, Chetan Kapoor sir. Chetan Kapoor sir is a seasoned development expert with over 2 decades of experience in education and skill development. He began his journey with an MBA from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade and transitioned from corporate sector to social sector. His career includes founding and leading initiatives focused on education and skills, as well as managing transformative programs in these fields. Chetan sir, I would like to formally invite you and introduce our keynote speaker for today's event. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shraddha. Pleasure to be here with all of you at the 15th edition of Saajhi Samajh, TMF's effort at nurturing a shared understanding of topics related and relevant to our work in particular and the social sector in general. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. As an organization that is deeply invested in the idea of well-being and welfare of all who we work with and work for, Tech Mahindra Foundation strongly believes in the power of dialogue and discussion for the dissemination of ideas. We had started the Saajhi Samajh series several years ago, and after the first 2 editions that were held in the physical realm in the pre-COVID era, we decided to turn this into a webinar series. We have consciously been choosing themes that are often not discussed at such convenings, but are of paramount importance to all of us. In the past, we have dwelt upon integrating social and emotional learning in education and employability, on child safety in cyberspace, on empowering caregivers of persons with disabilities, and on inclusive intelligence, our take on the relevance of emotional intelligence in the era of which is increasingly dominated by artificial intelligence. We have also ensured that these do not merely remain discussions frozen in time. We have followed these up with specific actionables in the form of creating curricula or research studies as open source resources for the social sector. Today, we are proud to have reached the 15th edition milestone of Saajhi Samajh. And even before we move further, I'd like to congratulate and appreciate all my team members who have made this milestone possible. Today, we explore a deeply relevant theme, healing the healers, building resilience on the front line. Our goal is to understand how we can support the mental well-being of healthcare workers, the teams who stand behind every emergency response, every surgery, every recovery, and every patient story. Healthcare workers face long hours, emotional strain, trauma exposure, and high-pressure decision-making. Yet, they continue to show up for us. So today we ask, how can we show up for them? And to take on this very relevant but difficult question, We have for you today an illustrious array of speakers, and I'm certainly excited to listen to them. But first, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you our keynote speaker for the day, Dr. B. Bhaskar Rao. Dr. Rao is Chief Cardiothoracic Surgeon and Chairman and Managing Director at the KIMS Group of Hospitals. Over decades of practice, he has performed more than 30,000 cardiothoracic surgeries, reflecting his unmatched expertise and dedication to saving lives. As the founder of KIMS Hospitals, he has built one of the largest healthcare networks across Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, now expanding into Maharashtra, Kerala, and Karnataka. He has also played a pivotal role in designing the landmark Arogya Shri scheme. Tech Mahindra Foundation has been truly privileged to have worked with the KIMS group of hospitals in our work in skill development. Beyond these achievements, Dr. Rao is an inspiring motivational speaker who urges young professionals to pursue excellence with purpose and compassion, embodying both high vision and impactful action. Over to you, Dr. Rao, for the keynote address.
Good morning, everybody. And thanks, Chetan, for the nice introduction. Honored guests, dear students, and our host, Tech Mahendra, I feel quite honored to give keynote address to the audience. I mean the students, that too skilled professionals, and that too belong to healthcare. It always gives me pleasure to address the allied healthcare professionals rather than the doctors, because we doctors cannot do anything without your support. You constitute the baseline, the front line, which is as important as the professional doctors. As a skilled professionals, you have large market potential and job opportunities when compared to others, like all these physiotherapists, the pharmacists, and nursing, and the technicians, lab technicians, radiology, all these people. We see many MBAs, engineers, and postgraduates who are unemployed. But it is rare to find a skilled person unemployed. Another wonderful aspect is you are in a healthcare sector. You are not only able to stand on your own, but also helping others in saving lives. We know that you undergo a lot of pressure and stress. All of us are under stress. The good thing is you can overcome stress by practice. One, how to overcome. Awareness and knowledge of your subject gives you confidence to do the job right without stress. What do you mean by it is not only just building your skills in a period of time, but in and day out, the skills will keep improving. That improvement will come if you start interacting with your colleagues, your seniors, and also start training and teaching your juniors. Then you gain more knowledge. Once you get the more knowledge, you don't have any stress and you understand the job very well. Decision making and common sense, right decision in the right time can save the life. That is the most important thing all of us should be able to learn. You must use your common sense along with your knowledge to handle demanding situations. Certain things we don't learn during period of skill training or in the job, that we need to use our usual common sense to overcome those issues that we can able to face. And physical and emotional fitness and well-being is very essential to do your job without stress. As we have been seen that I can able to work 14 hours without anything. The only thing is you need to develop a passion and compassion and also sincerity of your work and your care. Then you will not able to burn out. So that physical, emotional fitness and well-being is very essential to do your job without stress. That itself will able to give you more and more happiness when you keep helping the people. Dignity of labor. You must respect your job and be proud of it. That will give you self-respect and strength to face challenges. Many people don't understand the dignity of labor. You should feel proud that what job you are doing, without you, the patient would not have been saved, nor the doctors could not able to cure that. All these things you should be able to feel proud. Many people in this country, when they think that the job that they are doing, because they don't get any other things, they have come to here and they always play. That is an inferior job. That is not the correct mindset you people should always think. The best is, without me, the patient could not able to saved. Without me, the doctors cannot able to do the good curative care to the patient. If you're able to feel that, you get that self-respect, and then you can able to face any challenges that what you come across. Still, if you feel stressed out and strained, you must not hesitate to seek a professional help. There is nothing wrong by seeking a professional help. Many of us, nearly 70 to 80% of our population, irrespective of all our professions, any other professions, they need to seek a professional help, a psychological counseling that will able to help you when you still, in spite of all these things, what I suggested, you feel stress. We are committed to support and encourage allied healthcare professionals, and we at KIMS running a numerous professional courses and offering on-job training to many boys and girls. I compliment Tech Mahindra for the various initiatives in this direction. I'm watching them in the last decade, the way the Tech Mahindra people are supporting for these healthcare professionals to shape them where they were otherwise they would not have got a job, and they can able to enjoy their life much better than after getting into this training program with the help of Tech Mahindra. I wish the young professionals successful careers ahead. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience. And it was indeed pleasure to listen to you, to your thought-provoking insights. With sir's experience, we now move ahead for our next segment, where I call upon Chhavi Bharadwaj, Head L&D for Tech Mahindra Foundation, to share overview on the work of Tech Mahindra Foundation and Mind at Ease initiative. Chhavi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shraddha. A very good morning to our esteemed guest of honor, our inspiring heroes from various projects, the wonderful audience, and my dear colleagues. Established in 2006, Tech Mahindra Foundation is the CSR arm of Tech Mahindra Limited, a Mahindra Group company. Guided by its vision of empowerment through education, the foundation leads impactful initiatives in education and employability. At the heart of our efforts is the belief that educated, skilled, and empowered women and men are the true strength of any nation. The foundation operates across two key verticals, education and employability. Disability, women empowerment, and mental well-being are cross-cutting themes across our programs. With the presence across 20 cities in India, we are proud to collaborate with 90 plus partners and create impact through our 140 projects. Our programs have created a collective impact of 7,50,309 beneficiaries across all our programs. We have positively reached over 63,000 teachers, 2,21,000 children, 4,21,000 youth, and nearly 80,000 persons with disabilities, strengthening learning, livelihoods, and inclusion at scale. In the realm of education, we have two significant programs. First is Shikshantar. It is our flagship capacity building program for teachers, school administrators, and leaders. The second is Arise Plus, which stands for all-round improvement in school education for children with disabilities. Under the employability vertical, our flagship program is SMART, which stands for Skills for Market Training. The initiative helps young people from communities learn the skills they need to get good jobs. The SMART program is run by the foundation itself and also through our partner organizations. Tech Mahindra Smart Academies for Healthcare operate across 5 locations, offering 18 hands-on paramedical courses. So far, we have trained over 179 youth and facilitated their placement in leading healthcare institutions nationwide. Through Project Samajh, we are expanding into Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities using a hub and spoke model and doubling our training capacity each year. We are proud to be recognized for the 4th consecutive year as the best academic healthcare institute at the CII Hospital Tech 2025 Awards. We take a holistic approach to healthcare employability, enhancing skills through immersive digital learning, strengthening workplace capabilities, and targeting upskilling, also fostering our health entrepreneurs. With over 11,000 working professionals upskilled, we now have a powerful network through which we can integrate mental well-being initiatives to support our beneficiaries. With mental health emerging as a critical concern in India, especially after COVID-19, Tech Mahindra Foundation launched the Mind at Ease program in October 2020. Built on 3 core pillars, awareness, accessibility, and advocacy, the program aims to promote mental health awareness, provide counseling and peer support, and create safe spaces across the organization to ensure beneficiaries receive the right support. Over the past 5 years, several key initiatives have been implemented under the Mind at Ease umbrella. Through our work, we have reached 13,700 plus beneficiaries. The Mind at Ease website provides a centralized platform featuring counseling and mental health support services from over 20 partner organizations offering therapy, counseling, and helpline assistance. Regular awareness sessions, psychological first aid training, individual and group counseling are conducted for our students and employees. Through our Champions of Mental Health peer support program, student ambassadors create safe spaces, promote awareness, and lead socio-economical activities across centers and academies. For employees, safe spaces are created through heart talks and stress buster sessions, focusing on self-care, reflection, women empowerment, emotional well-being, and much more. Through these initiatives, we aim to build resilient individuals, not just for the workplace, but for life. Thank you for your attention to the impactful work of Tech Mahindra Foundation in the social development sector. It was my pleasure sharing our journey with you. I will now hand over it to my colleague, Dr. Shraddha.
Thank you, Chavi, for sharing that overview. For our next segment, which is Voices from the Frontline, where my colleague Sana Munjal, Assistant Manager for Child Development, will bring forward real stories and live experiences of 2 allied healthcare workers. Sana, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shraddha. Good morning to everyone. I'm Sana Munjal, and today we have with us the Voices from the Frontlines, where we will be directly hearing from the people who live the reality of healthcare training and emergency response every single day. Their journeys, challenges, and reflections remind us why this work matters. We have with us 2 such individuals joining, who will be sharing their stories of support, courage, and resilience. I would like to take a quick moment to introduce them. First of all, we have Mr. Bikesh Chauhan. Bikesh is an alumnus of the Emergency Medical Technician, the EMT program from the Tech Mahindra Smart Academy for Healthcare. With over 7 years of experience in paramedical and emergency care, he brings deep first-hand insight into high-pressure frontline situations and is a certified BLS and ACLS provider. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bikesh. We also have with us Ms. Sunaira Irshad. Sunaira is an associate faculty for the Emergency Care Assistant program at Tech Mahindra Foundation. And she is also a certified BLS and Heart Saver instructor by the AHA. With over 11 years of professional experience in clinical, including emergency, CCU, and pediatrics, She joined Tech Mahindra Foundation in January of 2025. She is passionate about mentoring and shaping confident and compassionate healthcare professionals. Thank you so much for joining us, Sunera. सो बिकेश, मैं आपके साथ शुरू करना चाहूंगी। आप प्लीज हम सबको अपने रोल और करियर के बारे में थोड़ा सा बता सकते हैं?
हाय, गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। मेरा नाम विकेश चौहान है। मैं अभी दिल्ली से बिलोंग कर रहा हूँ और टेक महिंद्रा फाउंडेशन से सन 2017 में मैंने इमरजेंसी मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन का कोर्स किया है, जो कि इस समय मैं अभी वर्किंग एट हूँ फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटल शालीमार बाग दिल्ली। इमरजेंसी पोस्ट पे हूँ अभी। एंड मेरे में टू टू डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, इमरजेंसी एंड एम्बुलेंस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन।
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग दैट बिकेश। तो आप प्लीज हमें अपने डे टू डे वर्क के बारे में बता सकते हैं कि आपको क्या क्या चैलेंजेस आते हैं जो आपको मेंटली एंड इमोशनली परेशान करती हैं?
मैम, ये तो डे टू डे में तो हमें तो इजली सी ऐसी तो आदत सी हो गई है। काफ़ी ज़्यादा चैलेंजेस आते हैं, जैसे कॉल के आते हैं, जैसे कॉल होती है, एम्बुलेंस हाउस कॉल होती है, पेशेंट की काफ़ी ज़्यादा सिकनेस यानी काफ़ी ज़्यादा तबीयत खराब हो जाती है। एंड देन कॉल रिसीव आती है, पेशेंट के कॉल नहीं लग पाता है, तो हमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्ट्रेसफुल हो जाता है, यानी कि परेशान हो जाते हैं। एंड देन हम फाइंड आउट करना पड़ जाता है कि कहाँ पे है पेशेंट, किस पोजीशन पे है। एंड यहाँ पे एक रिसेंटली मेरे साथ एक केस हुआ था, जो कि मैं पेशेंट को बचा नहीं पाए थे। एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था कि पेशेंट घर पे था और कॉल आई यहाँ से, और यहाँ पे हमारे डॉक्टर अवेलेबल नहीं हो पाया था, जो कि हम वेट करते रह गए थे डॉक्टर को। एंड देन मोर देन पेशेंट इज नो मोर। लेकिन मेरे को काफ़ी ज़्यादा वो परेशानी हुई इस चीज़ की। एंड काफ़ी ज़्यादा चैलेंजेस है कि हमारे वर्क पे हमारे एक तो पेशेंट के बारे में भी अटेंडेंट को भी बताना पड़ता है। एंड देन इमरजेंसी टीम को भी, ईआर टीम को भी हमें रिस्पॉन्स देना पड़ता है कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ पेशेंट के बारे में।
थैंक यू बिकेश, आपने इतना ओपनली इस चैलेंज के बारे में फेस किया एंड जो आपने इंस्टेंस शेयर किया, आई एम श्योर काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा ये आपके लिए इमोशनली। सो बिकॉज अनसर्टेनिटी भी इतनी होती है आपके रोल में, तो आप थोड़ा शेयर कर सकते हैं कि ऐसे मोमेंट्स में आप अपने आप को कैसे हैंडल करते हैं? आप ऐसा क्या करते हैं कि आप इजीली बाउंस बैक कर पाए ऐसी सिचुएशन से?
मैम बाउंस बैक का तो मुझे पता नहीं है, बट मैं इतना कह सकता हूँ कि जब हमारे पर प्रेशर काफ़ी ज़्यादा होता है एंड पेशेंट का कंडीशन इतनी ख़राब होती है, जो कि हम काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस हो जाते हैं उस चीज़ में, यानी परेशान से हो जाते हैं, जो कि हमें खुद भी नहीं पता चलता है कि हम करें तो करें क्या। लेकिन बट हमें पता है कि हमें करना है, हमें अगर हम नहीं कर पाएंगे तो कोई दूसरा नहीं कर पाएगा, क्योंकि एज अ फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर हम ही हैं। तो हम उसको जितनी जल्दी हो सके उतनी हम ट्रीटमेंट पहुंचाए। एंड देन हमें पेशेंट जो होता है उसके साथ जो अटेंडेंट होते हैं, हमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा फेस करना पड़ जाता है। और बाउंस बैक करने के लिए, जैसे कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा हाइपर पैनिक वैनिक हो जाते हैं, तो हम थोड़ा सा अपने आप को पॉज कर लेते हैं एंड थोड़ा रिलैक्स मोड में हो जाते हैं। एंड देन उसके बाद हम अपना वर्क में भी अपना हम पॉज ले लेते हैं, लेकिन लोगों को पता नहीं चलने देते कि हम वर्क प्लेस में भी पॉज हैं। एंड देन डू बेस्ट।
एब्सोल्युटली, जैसा आपने कहा, यू हैव टू डू योर बेस्ट। सो थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग दैट एंड हैट्स ऑफ। आई एम श्योर इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गो थ्रू दी सिचुएशंस ऑन अ डेली बेसिस। लेकिन मैं वापस आई वुड लाइक टू से थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग दीज
जस्ट
इमोशंस एंड
जस्ट
फीलिंग्स।
वन मोर, एक मैं केस सुनाना चाहता हूँ।
यस प्लीज।
लाइक यहाँ से मैं अभी फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटल शालीमार बाग में वर्किंग हूँ, तो यहाँ से एक पेशेंट था, डॉक्टर हॉस्पिटल टू हॉस्पिटल ट्रांसफर था। तो पेशेंट इज स्टेबल नाउ, लेकिन बट इज पेशेंट की कॉम्प्लिकेशन इज MI मायोकार्डियल इन्फेक्शन था। एंड द पेशेंट इज नॉर्मली, एंड देन वाइटल इज स्टेबल। एंड पेशेंट को ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में करने के बाद विद इन 15 मिनट्स में पेशेंट के वाइटल अनस्टेबल हो गए, जो कि मेरे लिए काफ़ी पैनिकफुल हो गया था। तो उस कंडीशन में मेरे साथ अटेंडेंट थे, एंड मेरे को डॉक्टर इमरजेंसी टीम से भी कांटेक्ट करना था। तो उस समय मैं पैनिक भी हो गया था, तो अटेंडेंट को बोला मैंने, उनको बोला कि कोई अकेला मैं कैसे कर सकता हूँ। तो अटेंडेंट से मैंने हेल्प ली कि आप प्लीज इधर आइए। उनको मैं वाटर वाटर देखा, सेचुरेशन डाउन हो गई थी, तो एंड देन पेशेंट इज, उसके पल्स भी ड्रॉप हो गई थी। एंड देन पेशेंट के समय, जिस समय मैं देखा कि हाँ अब आ गया है, सीपीआर देने का समय आ गया है, तो एंड देन पेशेंट से हेल्प ली, प्लीज आप इधर आइए। एम्बू बैग उनको बता, ट्रिक बताई कि इस तरीके से आपको एम्बू बैग पकड़ना है। एंड देन जस्ट पेशेंट को हम सीपीआर देने लग गए, एंड देन पेशेंट को शिफ्ट करे थे।
Thank you
तो
for sharing.
कहने का मतलब इसमें ये
Yeah.
है कि ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ हम ही एक फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर है, जो
Hmm.
अटेंडेंट है उनको भी हम फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर बना सकते हैं। एंड देन उनको भी, यानी हम बता सकते हैं कि आप, अगर हम भी ना हो तो आप घर पे भी इनको आप ऐसे ट्रीटमेंट, यानी कि बीएलएस के बारे में आप इतना बता देते हैं कि आप इतना, कि घर में भी किसी का आप जान बचा सकते हैं। बस इतना ही मैं नॉलेज शेयर करना चाहता हूँ आप लोगों के साथ।
Absolutely.
ओके।
No, thank you, Bikesh, for sharing that. I think that is a very important piece of knowledge, both from a healthcare perspective and जो आपने बोला, ऐसे roles में being quick on your feet, उस time पे सोचना कि अभी आपका priority is to save the patient. So this
वेरी
becomes
वेरी
extremely crucial. So thank you
वेरी
so
वेरी
much.
क्रूशली, क्योंकि उस समय हमारे पे एक डॉक्टर के प्रेशर, यानी इमरजेंसी टीम की प्रेशर है। एंड पायलट को भी इन्फॉर्म हमने कर दिया कि प्लीज आप नॉन स्टॉप गाड़ी कहीं से भी मिले, कहीं से भी आपको रोड में साइड दिखे, वहां से आप एम्बुलेंस प्लीज क्विक फास्ट, यानी कोई भी नियर बाय हॉस्पिटल वहां पे आप प्लीज लेके पहुंचे। तो उसमें हमारा जो पायलट था उन्होंने भी बहुत बेस्ट किया था। विथ इन विथ इन यानी 5 मिनट्स में वहां पे हमने हॉस्पिटल पहुंचा दिए थे नियर बाय।
That is extremely nice to hear. Keep up, and also the kind of team effort that plays in such situations to be able to save a life. I think that's extremely inspirational. Thank you, Vikesh. Thank you so much for sharing this story and the feelings that you go through on a day-to-day basis. Thank you. So, Sunera, I would like to move on to you, and I would like to request you to please share about yourself and your current role.
Yeah, thank you, Sana. And I thank this platform for giving me this opportunity to share my experience. A very good morning to one and all. My name is Sunira Irshad, and I'm currently working at Tech Mahindra Foundation Smart Academy, Kharghar, Navi Mumbai, as an emergency care assistant faculty. I completed my BSc Nursing from SNDT University, Mumbai, and I have total 11 years of experience, including 6 years of clinical practice, mainly in emergency department, CCU, and 6 years in academics.
Thank you, Sunera, for sharing that. So, as you mentioned that you worked in the emergency care for almost 6 years. So, can you talk about your experience during that time period?
Yes, Sana. Working in the emergency department as a frontline worker is not at all easy job. It's very stressful environment where we have to be ready for 24 by 7 to face any kind of situations. Patients come to ER in different stages and comes with relative also who are equally anxious. So handling both used to be very pressurized and traumatic to me many a times. I give you an example of like different situations where patients come in ER, like road traffic accidents, bleeding, burns, screaming and shouting, and you cannot even look at their bodies in such conditions. And not only this, but there comes with anxious son or daughter who comes with their own mom and dad who is having emergency situation and they're behind us to save their life. So initially it was not easy for me, but it was my job and I have to work and face such situations. Here I gained a lot of knowledge and have improved my skill level, but I didn't know to how to overcome these situations and how to overcome the physical and emotional burdens. So, as per my experience, it's very stressful, emotionally and physically burden to face these burdens in my life. But also somewhere I feel guilty also for not doing enough for these patients which stayed with me till now. All this made me a somewhat different person because I used to be very irritated at home and I used to remain aloof. Personally, there was no one to guide me, to support me. Moreover, there was no internet also that much to develop so that I can develop some techniques to overcome these challenges. So, and moreover, I'm a family woman also, and I have my personal responsibilities to look after me. So, being in this field more, I would not have helped me. So change was the only option left for me, Sana.
Thank you so much for sharing that openly, Sonera. So I would want to understand, was there a particular instance that became that tipping point or turning point that you moved into the non-clinical side and into academics, the role that you are in currently? Was there something of that sort that you would like to share with all of us?
Yes, as I told you, I have faced many challenges and situations, but I had to be very tough because there was no option left for me. But here I would like to share one of my experience. Once in my night duty, there was a student suicide case had come to in our ER, and she had ingested poison because she has lost her mother in road traffic accident. After taking a detailed history, we came to know that her mother was the only earning member of the family and she could not face that loss and she ingested poison. When she was brought to ER, she was screaming in pain and at the same time she was requesting to all of us to save her life because later she realized her mistake and she had to take younger siblings' responsibilities. But unfortunately, we could not save her as it was too late to do anything. And this experience has stuck in my mind till date because she was of my age at that time and I could not help her out being in a medical field. Many more incidences are there, Sana, but we have to face such scenarios. We have to be very tough. We have to be very calm, as BK said. So it was not easy for me in those days. I wish I could have done something better in my period.
Thank you, Sonera, for sharing that. But I truly feel that now that even when you are working with the young healthcare professionals, the ones who are about to enter the field and into their profession and are going to move into their professional trajectory soon, I want to understand from you what are the steps that you are taking to ensure the mental and emotional well-being for your students, and how are you drawing from your own experiences, the one you just shared? Because I'm sure it would not have been easy seeing such instances happening in front of you at such a young age that you just shared. So what is it that you are doing now as a mentor and in this role?
Yes, Sana. Initially, I thought changing my life would be easy for me, but coming to a teaching line, I realized that it is also not an easy job as well because where you have a batch of students who looked up to you as a role model and they learned everything blindly, whatever we teach to them. So it's a great responsibility on my shoulder to fulfill those. Hence, I make it easy. I work on students' mental strength first because emotions like anxiety, fear, attachments, emotional breakdown, which I faced, and moreover, I was not having any mentor or guide also to bring me out of this. So, therefore, it was my responsibility. It is my responsibility to take care of this. So, I got an opportunity to guide and train future healthcare providers on these aspects. So, what I do, Sana, to make it real, I take up a demo situations in my practical sessions and I take up a real case-based studies in my theory sessions so that students can relate ER conditions in real life situations. Moreover, I conduct in-house breathing exercises for mind strength as well as muscle strength exercises to combat ER cases. I wish I could have got those techniques in my period, Sana.
But Sonera, I would like to say that now you are doing such a great job at providing these options and that kind of a safe space to the students that you're working with on a daily basis. So thank you so much for that. And I'm sure the students, when moving into the healthcare sector after the completion of their courses, I'm sure they will always really appreciate this this space that you have created for them. So thank you so much. And once again, thank you to Bikesh and Sunera for sharing your honest experiences and the realities of life on the front lines. Your commitment and passion truly inspires each and every one of us here. Thank you so much. And over to you, Dr. Shraddha, to take the proceedings forward.
Thank you, Sana.
Thank you, Sana. Bikesh and Sunera, thank you so much for setting a perfect context for our next segment, which is a panel discussion on healing the healers, building resilience for the front lines. We will now hear different voices, experiences, and insights. So now, without further ado, I have proud privilege in introducing our esteemed panelists and the moderator for today's discussion. So I would like to welcome Dr. Neeraj Jha, our first panelist. Dr. Neeraj is founder and CEO of Hanuman Care. Dr. Jha is a dynamic healthcare professional over 2 decades of experience in hospital operations, quality management, and emergency healthcare innovation. He is best known for creating Hanuman Care, which is an EMS tech startup that is transforming emergency response in India through digital solutions, including e-rickshaw ambulances and long-distance train ambulance services. Dr. Jha is an NABH assessor and former Niti Aayog consultant. Dr. Jha has also under 40 has got earned awards like Medgate 40 under 40, Atal Samman, and Six Sigma Oscar in healthcare excellence. So welcome, sir. Our next panelist is Dr. Shrisha Sathe. Dr. Shrisha brings nearly 4 decades of experience as clinical psychologist and BAMS qualified healthcare professional. She holds MA in psychology from SNDT Women's University, and she is certified in both REBT and hypnotherapy. Dr. Sathe is founder of Shyamji Eye Foundation and serves as psychology faculty at Flame University, Pune. Her expertise spans emotional resilience, relationship counseling, preventive mental health care. She is respected widely for her contributions to public mental health awareness and life skills education. Joining us next is Dr. Rakesh Shah. Dr. Rakesh is COO at KEM Hospital, Pune. He brings deep expertise in hospital administration, operations management, and strategic leadership. Before joining KEM, Dr. Shah held key senior roles at Shalby Limited. He also was a cluster head administrative officer leading operational efficiency and institutional growth across multiple hospitals. Dr. Shah is known for driving patient-centered care, ethical leadership, and operational excellence through his career. Welcome, Dr. Shah. And now leading today's conversation, our very own Dr. Nidhi Keval Ramani, Program Director for Health Skilling, with nearly 2 decades of experience in healthcare sector and more than 1 decade in healthcare education. Dr. Nidhi has been instrumental in shaping industry-relevant curricula and driving digital transformation in allied healthcare. She has strengthened the foundation's healthcare skilling ecosystem and making her perfect moderator for today's very important discussion. With great pleasure, I invite Dr. Nidhi to steer the panel discussion titled Healing the Healers, Building Resilience on the Front Line. Over to you, Nidhi, ma'am.
Thanks, Dr. Shraddha. It's very clear from the voice of our allied health professionals that working as frontline warrior is both courageous and heroic. However, we often forget that heroes are human too, and they are also vulnerable to the emotional and psychological impact of the situations they face. It's my pleasure to be part of such important and meaningful discussion alongside such exemplary panelists. Before we start, requesting all the participants to put your questions in chat box addressing to the Q&A panel. We would be addressing them in the Q&A segment post the panel discussion. We'll start with Dr. Shesha. Dr. Shesha, you have completed your graduation in the medical field and pursued your post-graduation in psychology in the early 1990s, in the era where mental well-being was not so openly talked about. So, ma'am, what inspired you to change your career from the clinical field to the field of psychology?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of this panel discussion. I feel very honored to be here. To share my story a bit, I had my clinic after completing my BAMS. I had my clinic on the outskirts of Pune, where I'm based. And the kind of patients that I would get were from very low socioeconomic strata, because that was what my intention was. And there I could see that the problems that they came up with were simple pathologies with simple solutions. When I say simple, I'm not trivializing it, but I could see the pathology, and so giving the solutions or prescribing them or giving them medicine was much easier. Later on, I started taking care of a clinic which is run by um, a school or an organization in Pune called Gnan Prabodhini, which is a school for gifted children. But they also have some other verticals, wherein there is one vertical of psychology and the other was of clinical research. And so when I was really dealing with the patients in the urban area with a bit of a high socioeconomic strata, I could see a lot of psychosomatic issues. Okay, and I would wonder, I would give them some advice because I was sitting on the doctor's chair. They would sit, they would listen to whatever advice that I would give to them, but I always knew that I'm not really equipped because I haven't studied psychology. And there I could really see the limitation of biomedical model. And so I wanted to know more. And then somehow, because of some health issues, I had to close down or I have to resign from that position of that organization. And then it was like a new game for me anyways, so I decided to. And also during the clinical trials I came across with psychology department of Gnan Prabodhini, so for the pre-testing and post-testing and all those things. So uh, I had developed a rapport with the HOD there, and then I decided that if I have to really go ahead and make my roadmap, then I need to be equipped with the most, what I can say, valuable aspect of our being, which is our mind, our heart. And so I decided to study psychology. And fortunately, SNDT gave me an opportunity to get into master's program in clinical psychology without having a background in psychology. So I'm really very grateful to SNDT University and the HOD then in Pune campus. So basically, it was more about understanding the limitations of biomedical model. So it's more about biopsychosocial model that actually what I find is more helpful in dealing with individuals who are facing issues or problems.
Thank you. It's very interesting biosocial model, right? Biosocial psycho model. Very interesting. You could really foresee the need of mental well-being. In your professional journey, so far you've been having more than 30 years of experience in this. Have you ever encountered that allied health professional or a practicing clinician seeking psychological support or guidance?
Many a times, many a times. Like there are not many doctors also who are seeking mental health help in that sense. Because again, as I see, that none of our educational system equips us with life skills. Okay, it's only about gathering more information and then applying that information, but nothing about we as human beings. So those skills, and what I always notice is earlier there was a kind of a wisdom which was there in the ecosystem that we were a part of. Simple things that grannies would tell, like that wisdom was very much a part of ecosystem when we were living almost as a community together, maybe in the joint family, maybe in the rural area, or even in Mumbai, living in the chawls, a lot of things. It was almost like a community living. And so we had a lot of spaces to really acquire those skills, need to adjust to certain things, to accommodate people with different whims and fancies, lot of things. And it was always taken as a part of life as being lived. Later on, when these spaces started shrinking, I realized that now there are no opportunities, no spaces which really give us that hands on experience, so to say, and to acquire those skills in a very organic manner. And that's where I feel that there is the need, because fair enough, whatever faculty that we are a part of or whatever domain of our work is, we do gather those competencies, we do gather that knowledge, and we definitely are contributing to the society in whichever ways that we are. But at the same time, how to lead our life, how to really what I can say. See, basic, when we talk about mental health, actually it is nothing but a state of well being. Okay. Experience of that state of well being, wherein there are only three simple things. It's more about capability to combat with day to day stress. Okay. Second is work competencies. And third is contributing to the community to which you belong. Okay. Now, these are the things that we keep on doing, but we face many obstacles sometimes, which are there are internal conflicts, there are problems with the roles. Sometimes there is role reversal, sometimes there is like role erosion, sometimes there is role shrinkage, sometimes there is inter-role conflict. That I'm the boss at my organization, and in the family, probably I'm the youngest daughter in law, something of that kind. Let's say so there is inter-role conflict also, and the roles and the responsibilities, and really how to really juggle with all those and how to do that balancing act is something that people find it very difficult these days. So lot many professionals, even healthcare professionals, they do leave that, because again, as I said, their entire journey in the medical field or paramedical field talks more about the body and the symptoms and all the, as I said right at the beginning, it's the biomedical model by which the entire medical and paramedical field goes, which loses out on this psychological aspect of our being, which gives us that sense of well-being. So
certainly, I mean, lot many things, ma'am. You really mentioned about the life skills, combating the situation, work capabilities, and most importantly, balancing that. Really, very few relevance point. Let's understand from Dr. Rakesh. Dr. Rakesh, you've been having a more than 10 years of experience in your medical administration, and you've been managing a hospital environment. It works 24 by 7 and always with unique and constant challenges. Could you share a personal instance where you faced a significant professional or emotional challenge, and how you build resilience, or how you combated this situation while navigating through it?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Nidhi, for having me here. At the same time, I would like to thank Dr. Shraddha Chavi and Take Mahindra Foundation for arranging such an interactive talk on a very special topic, which is the need of hour. And we are happy that you are focusing on healthcare, because we all are used to have the people are clapping for us and thali ठोक रहे हैं. But at the same time, we do face a challenge. गरज सरो वैद्य मरो in Marathi, as we say. So challenges, see, we are a 24 by 7 organizations. When I see there are three prominent factors which create this stress or emotional fatigue, because hospitals are, one is ambiguity. There will be always an ambiguity when it comes to treatment decision making. Second is the diversity, and third, which is most important part, is the interactive complexity of the hospital systems, how the care is delivered. So these three predominant factors create the kind of stress into the situations. If I have to share a couple of examples, but I prominently would like to say that is one of the milestones. When I entered my healthcare administration journey from a medical to this, it was an H1N1 outbreak in Pune way back in 2009. And I think many of may know or may not know, we have seen the COVID, but actually the trailer was H1N1. And I had an opportunity to lead the organization. We were 30 people supposed to be on the duty on the 7th of August 2009. And the news flashes that one of the hospital is converted as the first private hospital in India to be the H1N1 hospital. So when I reached the duty at night, out of 30, only 5 presented. Remaining 25 didn't show up. And that was the time I sat and I decided, quite young, enthusiastic doctor, if at all we go back to home, we'll carry. That was a fear because no one knew what is happening. So I gathered the team and 5 of us managed the whole night. And that was a resilient aspect. And later on, 9/9/2009, after serving 1.5 months, I got the H1N1 myself. And that time, all suicidal thoughts come in your mind because the Tamiflu, we have taken 22 Tamiflus. People were advised 10, but we have taken 22 Tamiflus. And then I went back and I read Vivekanand that time, and that actually changed my perspective towards healthcare. And that was actually the starting for my administrative journey. And then I realized the nitty-gritties of the healthcare system, how it functions. So I think building a resilience is the utmost important thing, and how you build it. As Shirisha madam has very rightly said, that there are so many factors. If at all I have to refer to some research, when it comes to the stress, 80% is because of social behavior and norms, and 20% depends to the individual. And when we say that the social norms or social behavior are so many aspects, one of the reason what madam rightly mentioned, that the nuclear families, too much of adoption of technology, and we are going away from our own people. So how you combat, uh, I think introspection is one very personalized thing which we should get into it, because this is a double-edged sword. You are walking on a very tight rope. You get addicted to substances, you get addicted to the mobile technologies nowadays. But what resilience can come up is that individual has to put efforts, and at the same time organization also has to put a system or structure in place to help systems and people to combat this thing. uh, Good that in last 2 decades of my administrative journey, I had seen a lot of importance or emphasis has been given to the mental health aspect, and COVID also reinstated the need for that. So this is my bit personal experience, and that changed the way you look at it. Books was the one thing which really helped me, and to stand back again and come back to the mainstream.
Inspiring, Dr. Rakesh. And I really, understand your situation on the day of when your team was supposed to 30 and you handled 5. And, hats off to you. And that was the turning point. And yes, the books are the way, and also the self-reflection and introspection is very important. Thank you. So when we talk about the hospital, we talk about the three aspects which Dr. Rakesh clearly says that, there is ambiguity, there is a diversity, and also there is an interdependency on the other teams. But when it comes to the ambulance, then it is further, added by that you are not aware about what is the site of the road traffic accident. And also you have a most important aspect is the time. So here we have Dr. Neeraj, who is the CEO of Hanuman Care Ambulance, and he's been managing a team that manage high pressure emergency response operation. Neeraj, emergency response teams often works in unpredictable and high adrenaline situation. What unique mental health challenges do ambulance staff encounter that differ from those faced by hospital-based healthcare professionals?
Thank you, Dr. Nidhi, for the opportunity and a wonderful webinar organized. This is something essentially required, like mental health for emergency healthcare professionals is a less talked subject, but is essentially required. And I'm very glad that you people are doing such wonderful job. From Dr. Bhaskar Rao to Rakesh and Sirisha ma'am, whatever they have mentioned about the mental status of the current entire healthcare professionals, especially for emergency healthcare professionals, is in a worrisome state, and there is a high time to address it. But at the same time, I'm also accepting that our generation, right? So I believe कि 80 के दशक से लेके और 95 तक जो लोग भी पैदा हुए हैं, we are very bad in handling the emotions of our colleagues, juniors, peers. स्पेशली अगर मैं अपनी व्यक्तिगत एग्जांपल से बोलूं, तो हम लोग तो एक ऐसे परिवेश में पले बढ़े हैं जहां अगर हम गिर के भी आते थे या हमसे कोई गलती हो गई और मम्मी पापा ने किसी ने एक थप्पड़ मार दिया और रोना आ गया, तो दूसरा थप्पड़ इसलिए लगता था कि रोए क्यों, दो आंसू और गिरेगा तो एक थप्पड़ और लग जाएगा। तो इस तरीके से जो लोग पले बढ़े हैं, और मेजोरिटी मेरे साथ काम करने वाले लोग और मेरे उम्र के लोग जो हैं, उसमें से 60-70% लोग ऐसे ही परिवेश में पले बढ़े हैं। आई होप एवरीवन इज कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी। So it is I accept on my personal thing, and I believe कि majority लोग जो हमारे साथ के हैं, हमारे उम्र के हैं, they are bad in handling emotions of people. Coming down to ambulance space, pre-hospital care, the problems are even worse. It is the problem of army, but army is a well-structured 24/7 high engagement thing, but their preparedness is also very high. एम्बुलेंसेज के साथ बहुत डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम है। एक तो जो हॉस्पिटल बेस्ड एम्बुलेंस सर्विसेज हैं, एंड देन देयर आर गवर्नमेंट एम्बुलेंस सर्विसेज, एंड देन देयर आर प्राइवेट एम्बुलेंस सर्विसेज। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम जो एम्बुलेंस पे डिप्लॉयड पैरामेडिक और ड्राइवर है, वो जब तक व्हील घूम नहीं रहा है, एम्बुलेंस चल नहीं रही है, तब तक वो आइडियल बैठता है। नाउ सिटिंग आइडियल इटसेल्फ इज अ प्रॉब्लम। वो या तो मोबाइल देख रहा है, या वो किसी को काम करते हुए देख रहा है, या वो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है। तो एक तो उसका स्ट्रेस है कि वो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, दूसरा कि मैनेजमेंट और डॉक्टर्स आसपास के आके उसको बोलते हैं कि यार तुम कुछ काम नहीं करते हो, स्ट्रेचर ही उठा लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो। सो इन स्पाइट ऑफ एंगेजिंग देम इन सर्टेन ट्रेनिंग और गिविंग देम सम टास्क, जैसे अगर आप आर्मी की बात करें, तो आप देखेंगे किसी आर्मी कैंटोनमेंट में जाएंगे तो लोग बेंच उठा के इधर से उधर कर रहे हैं, घास काट रहे हैं, दे कीप एंगेजिंग पीपल, डोंट लेट देम सिट आइडियल। सो इन इमरजेंसी हेल्थ केयर, प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर में तो हम लोग यूजुअली हमारी पीयर कंपनीज जो भी हैं, आई सी की इनफैक्ट पेमेंट भी जो है व्हील आवर्स पे है, कि एम्बुलेंस चल कितनी देर रही है उसके हिसाब से उनके पेमेंट्स हैं। तो सिटिंग आइडियल इज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम दैट आई सी, जो कि लोगों को काफी हाई स्ट्रेस में डालता है, और उनको ये भी लगता है कि मैं चूंकि काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ तो मेरा प्रमोशन नहीं होगा, इंसेंटिव्स नहीं बनेंगे, मैं जिंदगी भर ऐसे ही बैठा रहूंगा क्या। तो खाली बैठना एक प्रॉब्लम है। दूसरा जो है वो people like Sunera and Bikesh, they mentioned that how important their works are, and really एक इमरजेंसी मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन का, एक ट्रेनर का, एक ड्राइवर का, वेल ट्रेन्ड एम्बुलेंस ड्राइवर का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस है एक लाइफ बचाने में। बट द एक्सेप्टेंस जो है इनके क्लिनिकल एक्सपर्टीज का, एक ईएमटी के क्लिनिकल एक्सपर्टीज का, वो एक्सेप्टेंस इन हॉस्पिटल सेटिंग between nurses, management, doctors is very low. When our ambulance, we operate nearly 3,000 ambulances. तो हमारे यहाँ सिस्टम है कि हम लोग रिसीविंग लेने की कोशिश करते हैं हॉस्पिटल से, कि रिसीविंग दे दीजिए, पेशेंट पहुंच गया है। तो वो रिसीविंग में एक साइन के अलावा ना बहुत सारे कॉलम्स हैं, जहाँ पे आप देखें कि भाई पेशेंट को कॉलर लगाया था तो ठीक से लगाया था कि नहीं, चेक करने के बहुत सारे हैं कि एम्बुलेंस की डिलीवरी क्वालिटी कैसी थी। बट नो वन इज बॉदर्ड अबाउट इट। लोग बस एम्बुलेंस को अभी भी एक ट्रांसपोर्ट मीडियम समझते हैं, और गाड़ी आई, साइन किया और बोला कि जाओ। नो बडी अप्रिशिएट द ईएमटी, नो बडी टीच देम कि हाँ क्या गलती हुई। अगर गलती भी हुई तो दे डोंट बॉदर, लाइक ठीक है पेशेंट पहुंच गया, तुम निकलो। तो ये जो लो एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ देयर क्लिनिकल एक्सपर्टीज है, उसने भी 2 साल 3 साल पढ़ाई की है, 4 साल काम किया, एक्सपीरियंस किया, उसका एक्सपर्टीज जो है वो काउंट नहीं होता है। जबकि हॉस्पिटल में अगर आप नर्सेज को देखें या हॉस्पिटल के इमरजेंसी टेक्नीशियंस को देखें, तो कॉन्स्टेंटली जो है ट्रेनिंग में एंगेज होते हैं, उनको अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है. सो दिस इज अनदर पार्ट इन प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर. थर्ड जो है वो हॉस्पिटल में नर्सेज या डॉक्टर्स गेट लॉट ऑफ अप्रिशिएशन फ्रॉम फैमिलीज आल्सो. हालांकि डॉक्टर पेशेंट रिलेशनशिप इज गोइंग डाउन, तो थैंक्स गिविंग बहुत पुअर हो गया है फैमिलीज से डॉक्टर्स का. बट स्टिल 10 में से एक पेशेंट थैंक यू बोलता है. एटलीस्ट इमरजेंसी के टाइम पे जब जान बचती है तो लोग बहुत सारे अप्रिशिएशन करते हैं. एम्बुलेंस के टाइम पे क्या होता है कि ये इंटरेक्शन बहुत शॉर्ट है. आपने एक पेशेंट को उठाया, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पहुंचाया, कुछ इमरजेंसी प्रोसीजर्स किए एंड वो हॉस्पिटल को हैंड ओवर हो गया. का पेशेंट के रिलेटिव्स भी जो हैं वो तुरंत हॉस्पिटल में लग गए. सो द थैंक्स गिविंग इन प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर इज इवन लो. आई विल से इट इज नेग्लिजिबल इन फैक्ट इन नेगेटिव्स. और देयर इज नो इंसेंटिव फॉर बीइंग गुड इन प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर. ऐसे तो हमारे पूरे देश में ही, मतलब आप गलती करेंगे तो आपको सजा मिलेगी, लेकिन अच्छा करने का कोई इंसेंटिव नहीं है. इफ यू आर अ रेगुलर ब्लड डोनर यू विल नॉट गेट अ स्पेशल पास फॉर एंट्री इन एयरपोर्ट और एनी एनी सच इंसेंटिव्स. सो दुनिया में अच्छा करने का कोई भी इंसेंटिव नहीं है. स्पेशली अगर आप प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर की बात करें तो जस्ट कंपैरिजन के लिए डाल रहा हूँ कि एक पिज्जा अगर 15 मिनट की जगह 10 मिनट में पहुंच जाता है तो उसको इंसेंटिव देती है कंपनी, और कस्टमर भी टिप देता है. बट एम्बुलेंस अगर आपको टाइम से हॉस्पिटल पहुंचा दे रही है तो उसको कोई टिप नहीं देता है, कोई अप्रिशिएशन नहीं देता है. जब मैं अपनी कंपनी के लिए फंड रेज कर रहा था तो मेरे इन्वेस्टर्स आस्क्ड मी कि व्हाई डू एम्बुलेंस ड्राइवर ड्राइव फास्ट, व्हाट इज हिज मोटिवेशन. पिज्जा वाले को तो उसकी इंसेंटिव्स मिलती हैं. व्हाट इज द इंसेंटिव दैट एन एम्बुलेंस ड्राइवर गेट टू ड्राइव फास्ट एंड पुट हिज लाइफ एट रिस्क. तो दैट वाज अ लॉन्ग आंसर, बट आई हैड टू मेड हिम अंडरस्टैंड कि हेल्थ केयर में जो लोग काम करते हैं ना, उनके लिए अप्रिशिएशन बहुत बड़ा इंसेंटिव होता है. और अगर दूसरा अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर रहा है तो सेल्फ अप्रिशिएशन ही होता है. उसको एक ड्राइवर को जब वो सायरन बजता है और लोग रोड पे गाड़ी खाली कर रहे होते हैं उसके लिए, और उसको ये एहसास होता है कि उसके फास्ट चलाने से एक जिंदगी बचेगी, वो अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा इंसेंटिव है उसके पास. सो ये सेल्फ अप्रिशिएशन जो है वो वही उसके लिए एकमात्र चीज है. सो वी कॉन्स्टेंटली नीड टू एंगेज पीपल एंड टॉक गुड टू देम. मैंने दो दो पॉइंट्स बस और रखना चाहता हूँ. मैंने अपने पूरे कैरियर जर्नी में 20 साल में ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स को ना आप मतलब ढंग से बात कर लो, गले मिल लो एक ईएमटी को, और उसको बोलो कि अच्छा किया तो रोने लगेगा. उसको डांटो तो वो नहीं रोएगा. मतलब अगर उसकी गलती पे आप उसको लताड़ रहे हो ना तो वो जल्दी रोएगा नहीं, वो सुन के इग्नोर कर देगा. बट अगर आप उसको एक बार बोल दो कि आपने अच्छा किया तो वो रोने लगेगा. अब शिरीषा मैम को पता होगा, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड मार्कर फॉर अ वेरी हाई स्ट्रेस एनवायरनमेंट, जहाँ की उसका इमोशन जो है ऑलरेडी डिस्टर्ब हो चुका है. तो मैंने अक्सर देखा है, मैं अपने ईएमटी के पीठ पे हाथ डाल देता हूँ, बोलता है यार तू बहुत अच्छा किया, वो केस में तो कितना अच्छा किया, तो वो रोने लगते हैं लोग. ड्राइवर रोने लगता है अच्छे से बात करो तो. सो दिस इज वन थिंग दैट आई वुड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम Sirisha मैम मोर. And last but very important, and especially I'm addressing to Dr. Rakesh and Sunera if she is here, and Bikesh. I would also like to learn from this. Mistakes जो हैं that go unnoticed and no one discuss in pre-hospital care. Hospital में अगर एक नर्स से गलती होती है तो उसकी इंसिडेंस रिपोर्टिंग होती है, एंड चार लोग और लगे रहते हैं उसके पीछे, और अगली बार ये गलती ना हो ये देखने के लिए भी सिस्टम्स होते हैं. बट एम्बुलेंस के अंदर क्या है कि ना कोई हॉस्पिटल मैनेजर है, ना कोई डॉक्टर है, ना एक एडिशनल नर्सिंग स्टाफ है. सो वन ड्राइवर, वन ईएमटी और मैक्सिमम टू ईएमटीज. सो मिस्टेक्स गो अननोटिस्ड एंड दैट अगेन इज अ बर्डन ऑन द स्टाफ, द पैरामेडिक्स, क्योंकि उसको तो पता है कि ये गलती उससे हो गई है एंड दैट हैज रिस्क्ड समवन लाइफ और हैज टेकन समवन्स लाइफ. सो दैट अगेन इज अ प्रॉब्लम जो कि उसके मस्तिष्क में, उसके मन पे काफी हावी होता है. एंड हम लोगों को इन चीजों को जरूर एड्रेस करना चाहिए. आई डोंट हैव क्लियर आंसर्स. आई एम प्रैक्टिसिंग प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर सिंस 2020. उससे पहले आई वाज मैनेजिंग हॉस्पिटल्स फॉर 10 years. हॉस्पिटल्स, हॉस्पिटल वर्कर मेंटल हेल्थ कैन बी टैकल्ड. बहुत सारे वर्कशॉप्स होते हैं, बहुत सारी तरीके होते हैं एचआर प्रैक्टिसेस में जिसे हैंडल करते हैं. बट 5 साल में आई विल बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, आई कुड नॉट फाइंड अ सॉल्यूशन ऑफ प्री हॉस्पिटल केयर के लोगों का मेंटल हेल्थ कैसे ठीक किया जाए, कैसे आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए. सो ओवर टू यू डॉक्टर निधि अगेन.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj. So relevant point. So relevant. So self-recognition is the key to the motivation. Very important aspect. And you correctly put two more points. एक तो आपने हमें ये बताया कि ट्रेनिंग का कितना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस है, and दूसरा लर्निंग फ्रॉम द मिस्टेक्स. हमारे यहाँ हॉस्पिटल में when we do in the hospitals, every incidence is noted and that becomes a root cause of the training and upskilling, whereas that is lacking in the pre-hospital care. Yes, definitely something to work upon for us. Yes, but very relevant. From there, I would really like to understand, Dr. Rakesh, जैसे कि training की बात हो रही थी, very important aspect. What I would like to understand from you, since you are managing a team, a big team to run your hospital, what warning indicators should be monitored to identify departments or units that are, at higher risk of burnout, absenteeism, emotional fatigue, and, what training can be provided to them?
Yeah. Dr. Nidhi, training definitely plays a very crucial role when it comes to the scenarios of healthcare upset. So first step goes to how you identify it. Like we have a 1700 employees working with me. How you identify it, that is very important. We are a 113-year-old organization. So again, how you identify? We are spread across 5 acres, and there are complex work benches or work processes are happening. So how you identify? So there are very small aspects which can be taken in consideration. The first and foremost is that HR and L&D team should be on the field. I may sound very basic, but this is very important, wherein they do take rounds across the hospital. They, instead of just focusing on grooming standards, other grooming is also one more risk factor. If somebody is not properly groomed, or if at all you see deterioration in his grooming practices, you need to go back and talk to him. Is there everything okay from him? Second is the social withdrawal. These people, these are early warning signs, some of early warning signs. Social withdrawal, they stay away from colleagues, they don't contribute or participate in team activities. Absenteeism, which you rightly mentioned. Again, one more thing is the increased conflict and irritability in the team members. And when I say that, we really need to study the complete ecosystem, how it functions, and a report card kind of scene can be created for each and every employee, and we can definitely adopt technology to do it. So, which can give us some indicator about behavioral metrics. So that can help us to identify, is there any problem first? If at all we identify a problem, how are we going to solve it? And then the whole machinery, it can come up into TNI, training need identifications can come in place, and then we can address these situations. One important aspect, again, if at all we go towards the backward integration, is we need to study our recruitment processes. Many of us do ignore these recruitment processes, but how, where, from what source, background verifications, how are we getting some people in our system? That whole recruitment process has to be studied. And there you get an impact, or you get a cues how the organizational culture is working. That will help. Addressing to Neeraj's point, which he thrown open to it. I think Neeraj, accreditations in ambulance services, which is an upcoming thing and which is the need. At the same time, technology enhancement will really help you to identify. As Dr. Nidhi rightly said, we have a complete bandwagon working at a hospital to do a kappa of a one incidence and monitor and corrective and preventive actions and FMEAs of all the world we implement. But emergency medicine being a especially ambulance field, very small time frame. But if at all we can take use of technology wherein certain parameters are noted at the same time, and while the shifting or handover, I'm sure the way you narrated that you have all checklist, and many times people just do it as a part of tick list, not as a checklist. So that can help you to get some cues if at all there have been, I will not say mistake or error. Are there any areas of improvement which we can do that? And this analytics will really help us to identify such situations. I hope, Dr. Nidhi, this is what you wanted to understand.
Yes, Dr. Rakesh. Truly, I mean, this is very relevant thing, tools that, should use the digital tools and technology to really come back with the data analysis. What are the areas of improvement? And that is where we should start. We should not say the mistake, but the area of improvement, certainly. From Dr. Rakesh, I'll move to Dr. Shesha. We've been talking about training. So, and this particular panel discussion is more about psychological resilience. So, what simple practices can be incorporated into training programs or daily routines to help or build the psychological resilience among allied health professionals and clinicians? Dr. Shisha.
Okay. When we talk about resilience, I think when Bikesh was asked, how do you do it? His answer was, pata nahi. आदत सी हो गई है. Okay. So let us understand that resilience is actually an ordinary magic. All of us have that ability. It's not an extraordinary thing. All of us do that. And we are really capable of being resilient. Let us at first understand that it's an ordinary magic of which all of us are capable. We may not be able to really pinpoint that how to build that, but we are resilient by nature. Okay, so that's one thing, because that's how our brain is designed. It was always designed for scarcity and ever-present threat. So we are capable of that. Coming back to what are the elements? See, there are certain systemic inputs that one needs to have in order to gather that information, then to internalize that, and then start practicing it as well. Because if it is about mental health, then what is required, right? For physical health also, you have to go to the gym or exercise or do something about it to develop that strength and that agility. In the same way, if you want to develop an emotional muscle, you need to really work on yourself, and not necessarily what I can say, a system can do anything about it, but you yourself are capable or there are so many things which are within your control that you can do to really improve your mental health. Because see, when we make this choice, I always say that when we pick one end of the stick, other end automatically gets picked up. So when we make a choice of being into a healthcare profession, these are the consequences which are bound to be a part of our life. Okay, and so there is a need to be more conscious and cautious about it. Take extra efforts to really equip yourself in order to deal with day-to-day stressors and the emergencies that you need to do. Okay, so it's a part of our self-responsibility. Okay, so there are certain psychological elements on which people can focus. Of course, there are some inputs which are required to be given. As I said, that most of the medical or paramedical training goes by a biomedical model, and we rarely focus on the psychological and the social aspect of it. So that is something that needs to be a part of inherent part of the training. That's what I feel, which is lacking majorly. Same do I feel for our judiciary, that none of the law colleges teach applied psychology, or they teach them the psychological aspect. So that is one thing which I think has to be the most neglected and the most required part of the training. Okay. So there are some 6 elements I have just jotted down on which individuals can think about, focus, reflect, and with some inputs, they can really work on themselves. First is self-acceptance. Like as Neeraj mentioned, that it's more about their experiences, and when they are acknowledged, it becomes such an overwhelming experience for them that the tears drop their eyes. So these are certain what I can say, basic needs of human beings. One is to belong, and second is to feel significant in the community to which you belong. These are basic needs of human beings. So wherever these needs are fulfilled, I think people are more healthy. The team spirit is also good. So first is self-acceptance, wherein people need to really understand themselves. People talk about self-awareness, but what I emphasize most of the times is self-understanding, not self-awareness. It's more about self-understanding. Then self-management. It is more about discipline also. And self-discipline most of the times, what I can say, consists of depriving yourself of certain short-term benefits of doing certain things. So, self management, and if required, if you have reached almost to the stage of burnout, then there is a need for self renewal, doing something which you haven't done, taking sabbatical or something like that. Now, these things, sabbatical has to be what I always feel has to be a part of healthcare profession, no matter what, because otherwise the quality of the service goes down, no matter what. Okay. So these are the three things which are required. Purpose in life. One, when you get into healthcare profession, that is the beauty of this profession, is that it continuously gives you that sense of purpose. See, our sense of well-being depends on five things. Okay, sense of purpose, sense of security, sense of belonging, sense of identity, and sense of personal competence. Now, the healthcare profession always gives us those opportunities, provided we look at it as an opportunity that this is going to constantly give me that sense of purpose. No matter, even if I retire from the job or anything, I still can be of use to the community, and I can still contribute. And that, as I said, that to belong and to be significant, these are the needs which are fulfilled most of the times in this profession. That's my personal experience as well. Autonomy, that is something which we need to understand, that we need to have that sense of direction, not only the freedom, but sense of direction, that how do I really see my roadmap in terms of my growth, whether my work is helping me to grow as an individual, not only professionally, but also personally. Unless and until I have those set goals, otherwise it would be just number of years and the experience. And then, as I said, then it's easier to get into the burnout because you are already burdened. These systems are already burdened. But if you have some goal, if your desires are translated into a goal, and then there are some goals, then you always are looking for something, because the one of the major aspect of mental health is wanting to start a day and having the energy to complete the day. These are simple things that you can always check, that are you looking for. Another thing is positive relation with others. Now it has come up through various researches that how relationship or that belonging or the deeper connect with people is really a key element when it comes to health, not only mental health, but also the physical health. So these are certain things. So this connecting with people or developing deeper connections is these days hampered by use of technology, wherein it's like I have maybe 5,000 connections on Facebook, but if I have to go out for 2 days, I don't have anyone with whom I can keep my pet.
Certainly, certainly.
So forget about taking care of someone in my in the family or in the house, but not even keeping the pet. But I have 5,000 connections on the Facebook. So these are certain things which are missing, and we need to really uh, develop that kind of. We need to take those efforts. Fifth is environmental mastery. That whatever ecosystem that you are a part of, one has to really make a list of skills that one needs to be equipped with, and then really have a planful action about it. And one is, as I said, if my work is what I can say, way of me growing as a person, if I see personal growth in my work, then I think we are able to deal with the challenges. And as I said, when we when we choose to be in this profession, these are the challenges. When one choose to be in defense services, these are the challenges. And that's the reason why we need to really equip ourselves more and be the change agent ourselves. So that
Thank
is what is required.
Thank you, Dr. Shesha. This really brings out a very relevant question for us. Being a allied healthcare institution and training 2,000 to 5,000 paramedics a year, very important aspect which you have brought. And we, as an organization working in education and employability, for us, we understand, and which you really clearly pointed out, the importance of social emotional learning, which is very important aspect. So now I would really
just one thing, that these inputs can be technologically enabled so that scaling up becomes easy.
Yes, certainly. So, I mean, one thing which I would like, even though we've covered this, actually, the social and emotional learning should be combated with the technical skills which is required to perform on the job. But one besides this, I would like to understand one aspect from this: how can a healthcare institution and training institutes equip the budding allied health professionals and clinicians with the skills to identify and intervene their sensitivity and effectively to combat the resilience for handling the stress? So one is definitely which Dr. Shisha has brought is social and emotional learning. But beyond this, any other points which Neeraj, Dr. Rakesh, would you like to bring to here?
Certainly, Dr. Nidhi, I agree to what Dr. Shirsha said. Taking it, I think it has to be a very articulative framework, which has to be top-down approach, not bottom-up approach. So when I say that, I refer one research where is they mention that a structure can be created, ABCD of resilience building. I would like to address this concern in two ways. So ABCD is one is the accept the reality, get the natural cues, believe in possibilities, you can overcome that. C is the commit to achievable goals, the goals should be defined. D is discover new resources and solutions. Like we can use technology, we can have interpersonal these things, we can have various tools of team meetings or daily breakout sessions. And E is evaluate and enjoy the process. The most important aspect is that it is like a management tool of PDCA, plan, do, check, analyze. So it is ABCD that will really help us to create that environment. Second, with my experience, couple of things which has really helped me in handling such situations and getting team aligned is creating a culture. When I said that top-down approach, there has to be a culture has to be created. And a tool which really helped me is the town hall. In my past organization, that has not only helped me to overcome the emotional resilience of the team, but at the same time, it helped me to improve the efficiency. And as we all are responsible for balance sheets, it helped us to track and record 2.5x growth in the top revenue, and that was in a span of 18 to 24 months. So town hall again, we made it from a good to great. The platform was called good to great. So the organization, which was hardly breaking even after 5 years of its existence from a very reputed brand, and in 18 months time we could transform that with this monthly town hall wherein I was open for any discussion, any conversations with the team. Of course, that time the team size was quite less, around 450 to 500 people. But we could communicate to them on the both the aspects. What are the organizational's requirement? What is the purpose? Why all do we exist? And that the team building activity wherein clinicians, paramedics, everyone sits on the same platform. Nobody is at the other side of the story. The housekeeping also sits on the front row next to the clinician. That really brought that change into the system. And as an organization at KEM also, we do follow certain practices wherein we do get a lot of, we are an academic institute, we get students from across India to pursue their masters. So once they join, we have induction sessions for them. At the same time, in the first quarter of their joining, we arrange mental health or mental support programs for them. So wherein external volunteers do come and have a chat with them. None of us are present over there, and those pointers are very well noted and captured by us. And then we provide them an additional support if they want to have one-on-one sessions. So those sessions has really helped us to build that culture of compassion and empathy and listening.
Thank you, Dr. Rakesh. I mean, many evidence-based practices you have clearly shared. One is definitely a town hall. The second is the orientation and also making them an available professional support if need required. That's really interesting. Thank you to our panelists for this enriching discussion. We are just taking a few questions in interest of time. And one question which really picked up here is how to handle the situation when there is less resources which make us panic. So this is something which is really, very relevant and important to our hospital and an emergency care sector, because generally we are always a limited resource, and that's the reason even Dr. Shesha, it becomes difficult to give a sabbatical leave. But yes, Dr. Rakesh and Neeraj, I would like to understand how to handle this.
So, see, there is no quick fix to any such problems, but as Dr. Rakesh said, accept it. The acceptance is the first and foremost thing. We are uh, good human beings. We are working for a noble cause, but we are not superheroes. हम अभी भी पैंट के ऊपर अपना अंडरगारमेंट नहीं पहनते हैं, ठीक है? तो उसको जो है पहले एक्सेप्ट कर लेना है कि हम सुपरमैन नहीं है। तो रिसोर्सेज कम है तो उसको एक्सेप्ट करना है कि रिसोर्सेज कम है, पैनिक बिल्कुल नहीं करना है। मोस्ट ऑफ द मिस्टेक्स दैट वी डू इज नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द knowledge gap that we have, but because we panic and we don't do that is supposed to be done. मैं जब इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन में मैं डिप्लोमा कर रहा था, डिप्लोमा इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन अपोलो हॉस्पिटल अहमदाबाद 2007, तो हमारा पहला स्लाइड जो है वो ये था कि वेलकम टू अ लॉन्ग एंड डिफिकल्ट पाथ ऑफ जर्नी, और दूसरा स्लाइड ये था कि द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट मोटो इज नॉट टू हार्म फर्दर टू एनी पेशेंट। सो अगर आप अच्छा नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, आपके पास रिसोर्सेज कम है, तो आप उसका फर्दर बुरा ना करें, यही टारगेट है। तो जैसा कि डॉक्टर राकेश ने बताया ना कि एक्सेप्ट करिए कि ये है, वही सबसे बड़ा सॉल्यूशन है। तो पहले तो एक्सेप्ट करिए कि आपको भाई आप यही कर पाएंगे, इसलिए इससे ज्यादा करें ही ना। तो और इमरजेंसी में तो खास करके लोग बहुत सारा मतलब सीन सेफ्टी बोलते हैं, मी वी देम का कॉन्सेप्ट है कि पहले मैं सुरक्षित रहूंगा, फिर हमारी टीम सुरक्षित रहेगी, फिर जिसको बचाने जा रहा हूँ उसको सुरक्षित करना है। तो देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ एम्फेसिस गिवन ऑन योर मेंटल स्पेस, मेंटल हेल्थ, कि आपको सुपर हीरो नहीं बनना है। इंडियन फिल्म्स में ना यूजुअली ये प्रॉब्लम हमारे साथ ज्यादा है इंडिया में, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने जो है वो सारी मूवीज देख के हम बड़े हुए हैं जहाँ आग जलते हुए कमरे में हीरो को घुस जाना है। तो यहाँ पे हमारे हीरोइज्म जो है हमारे ब्लड में, हमारे जीन में है। तो इसको जो है ना, और अनलर्निंग समथिंग इज मोर डिफिकल्ट देन लर्निंग समथिंग। तो मैं दाहिने हाथ से लिखता हूँ तो मैं लेफ्ट हैंड से लिख सकता हूँ, लेकिन दाहिने हाथ से लिखना भूल नहीं सकता हूँ। तो ये जो हेरोइज्म हमारे अंदर आ चुका है, इसको कर्टेल करना, कंट्रोल करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। तो एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट, निधि, आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू एज अ इंस्टीट्यूट, जो फ्रेश माइंड्स आपके पास आते हैं उनको ना पहले ये चीजें बतानी ज्यादा जरूरी है कि आपके कैरियर में इस तरीके के प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे और आपको ये हैंडल करना होगा। आप बी प्रिपेयर्ड, उनको सिनेरियोज पहले से पता होंगे तो एक्सेप्टेंस हाई होगा। दैट इज माय पॉइंट।
अग्री, टोटली अग्री डॉक्टर नीरज। एंड आई थिंक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज डॉक्टर नीरज ने दिया है कि पैनिक होके हमें सिचुएशन को बिगाड़ना नहीं है, इससे ज्यादा बुरा ना हो, यही हमारा फोकस रहना चाहिए। सो द मेजर की थिंग इज दैट वी शुड बी एबल टू मैनेज द सिचुएशन विथ वॉट एवर रिसोर्स वी हैव, and certainly the simulation and case scenarios practice will help us for that. Certainly, thank you, or thanks a lot to everyone. As we move forward, let us carry these insights into our daily practices, ensuring that mental wellness becomes not just a conversation, but a culture within healthcare. These insights will help us to some actionable task as a allied healthcare training institution. Be assured, together, we can shape a system where every healthcare professional feels supported, valued, and empowered. Thank you to all of you, and over to you, Dr. Shraddha.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, panelists. Thank you, Nidhi ma'am, for such an enriching and wonderfully steered session, I must say. So, coming up to the next segment, I would invite Swapna Shetty, my colleague.
1 minute, Dr. Shraddha. Before we come to Dr. Swapna, I also wanted to invite Chetan Kapoor, our CEO, to just share few thoughts after the enriching panel discussion.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Chavi, for inviting me to step in at this point, because the last 1 hour or so, I've been absolutely riveted to my screen and listening to the panel of experts that we've had today. And I would really, really want to thank each one of you, Dr. Sathe, Dr. Shah, and Neeraj ji, for your insights. It was so heartwarming to listen to each one of you, because and even before that, the segment that we had, where one of our alumnus and one of our faculty, Sunera, they spoke about this need. So first of all, hats off and salute to each one of you who's been working in this space, because as as a layperson who has sometimes seen you at work, having been at hospitals at a few occasions, I now realize the kind of the kind of pressure that you all would be going through, and in this, how important it is to talk about the need for better mental wellness for all of us. And the points that each one of you made very, very strongly resonated. I think in our own work, in working with youth in skill development, we have been, I would say, prudent enough to realize the value of what are often regarded as soft skills, but we know that these are certainly not soft. These are actually the ones which make the critical difference in terms of really being able to do what we are expected to do. So the points that you mentioned, in fact, I haven't discussed this with the team, but I would want to make this announcement that we would want to take the points that each one of you shared, and come up with a toolkit for healthcare workers, a toolkit which would nurture resilience and mental well-being for them. And this will soon be available to all healthcare professionals across the country. I think we owe this to all of you. I am also very glad to see that many of our students from our various academies and centers that are working in healthcare are here with us today and have listened to the conversation that just happened, because this is something which is going to be invaluable for each one of you, all the students who are there. I hope you listen to each and every word that was shared by our experts, because there was so much of wisdom in what was being shared. The profession that you all are entering in is not easy. It's never going to be, all smooth sailing. But it is at those times that some of the advice and suggestions and recommendations that came, the need to nurture your own resilience, which Dr. Sathe so rightly said, is there within all of us. And we need to proactively dig within, and find this at the time that is required. And Neeraj, some of the points that you mentioned were very, very relevant, I would say, because we know that at these times when people might panic, there are some hardwired things within us which help us to rise above and make sure that we fight and we do not run away from the situation. And there is enough strength within all of us to make sure that this happens. Yes, there are many, many distractions. There are many things which are counter forces, I would say. You all mentioned about how technology is beginning to play sometimes an intrusive role in our own ability to focus and introspect. But this is where our own discretion, our own judgment has to step in, and we need to know that what needs to be done in this moment is exactly what we are doing. So lots of takeaways for me as well. And thank you once again, all of you, for being part of Saajhi Samajh 15. And before I hand it back to Swapna, I would also want to really, really congratulate and thank the entire team of Tech Mahindra Foundation, which has been working for this event for the last almost 2 months now. So thank you so much, and over to you, Swapna.
So, Mr. Kapoor, on behalf of all the panelists, I take this opportunity to thank Take Mahindra Foundation and appreciate your leadership to bring up something which is very important, very urgent, very necessary, and giving a thought. And we would like also that the young leaders are listening to this and creating that platform. At the same time, would like to take this opportunity to thank whole of your team, Chavi, Dr. Shraddha, and Dr. Nidhi, for organizing this. So our best wishes, and I think we all are available for any support or assistance which is required to your team members or to your students. It will be our a great privilege to contribute somewhere in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shah. This really means a lot, and we will certainly take this forward with you and with Dr. Sathe and Neeraj as well.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Swapna.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks, Shraddha. And as rightly said, the healer also needs a healing. Indeed, an impactful morning. With that, it's my distinct honor to present the vote of thanks as we conclude the insightful 15th edition of Saajhi Samajh, focusing on healing the healers. We acknowledge the profound impact of this dialogue, which serves as a catalyst for meaningful action and shared understanding. Our deepest respect and gratitude are extended to all our honorable guest of honor, our esteemed speaker, and the dedicated panelist. Your expert insights into creating supportive workplaces for our frontline heroes have been truly invaluable. We also thank the organizing committee for the meticulous preparation, and special thanks to sign language interpreters from NDS. Finally, we express sincere appreciation to all our delegates and participants. Your active presence and engagement underscore the importance of this theme. We trust that the learning outcome from this session will be effectively translated into positive and real life changes. Thank you once again. But before we sign out, request everyone to keep your cameras on and let's capture the moment. Request the team to please take a camera, please. Graph, please.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You can now leave the meeting room. Thank you, everyone, for joining.